Today, a Klein Kane high school teacher is in jail on human trafficking charges.
Today, Kadria Grigsby made her first court appearance. The cosmetology teacher is accused of trafficking girls who were students. And investigators say she was not working alone. Troy Kless is live at the Harris County Courthouse with the details tonight. Troy?
Well, Enrica, today in court, a judge set bond conditions for Grigsby. Now, according to charging documents, we're learning that she and her son had been involved in this prostitution ring that's been going on for more than a year. In a bright yellow jumpsuit, Kedra Grigsby makes her first appearance before a Harris County judge. She's facing 3 charges of compelling prostitution and 3 charges of trafficking a child. The case moved to a different judge because family is involved.
She was a teacher of cosmetology, I believe, at Klein Kane. Her son was involved in running these juvenile complainants in human trafficking.
According to charging documents, Grigsby and her son allegedly participated in taking profits from 3 juveniles for prostitution. In the documents, Grigsby is accused of transporting the victims to and from motel rooms, paying for the room, and maintaining a Zelle account where Grigsby received the profits.
Comment at this point whether or not she knew these girls from Klein, if she became connected to them through her son, but she was a teacher at Klein ISD.
Today, a judge set her bond totaling at $450,000. Her defense attorney unsure if his client will be able to meet bond. Charging documents allege Grigsby was involved in the ring since November 2022.
Now, it's a crazy situation, no matter how you look at it. But remember, this is a year ago, and she most recently got her charges dismissed.
Understand the severity of the allegations, but as I always tell all my clients, allegations are just that. They're just statements that are uncorroborated. We're looking forward to see what the evidence holds, and she's a presumed innocent person. And
her son is also charged in a separate case. Prosecutors say it is their job to eradicate human trafficking, no matter what form it takes.
Absolutely crazy situation. Let's go over to this next video where they talk about the whistleblower.
Now to a developing story. A former Klein ISD teacher's attorney will file a federal lawsuit against the school district for wrongful termination.
As KPRC2's Roland Logan reports, the former teacher claims she was let go after she spoke up about another teacher's involvement in an alleged human trafficking ring.
Nay, this has been a case KPRC2 has followed closely for months, the arrest of the cosmetology teacher. Today, the woman who claimed to have told school leaders about Kedria Grigsby sharing how she learned of those allegations. On the cusp of the first day of school for Klein ISD, district leaders say it is their main focus and not the press conference that happened steps away from Klein Kane High School, where a former teacher claimed the district was made aware of Kedria Grigsby before she was arrested and charged with trafficking.
I did not take this action simply because I'm an educator. My first response was because I'm a mother. And it's been a sickening, dark pit in my stomach to know that Klein has sat on this information.
In a statement to KPRC, the district said in parts, quotes, "We are aware of the allegations made by a self-proclaimed whistleblower who is actually an ex-employee documented for poor job performance. We have not seen any lawsuits filed against Klein ISD connected to this matter." Darden claims she told district leaders about her suspicions on Grigsby a few months after her son was arrested for human trafficking in 2023. Grigsby was arrested in her classroom earlier this year in April. Harry Daniels is part of Darden's team of attorneys.
We believe that as a result of this whistleblowing, as a result of her calling the foul, as a result of her identifying and naming teachers in this particular school district, a teacher in this school district, that she was retaliated against.
Darden says she was made aware of the allegations against the former cosmetology teacher through her daughter, who she says was a victim.
For the other victims in this case, I stand in solidarity with you. I pray for your healing and that you have the resources that you need to thrive.
Klein ISD leaders telling me that they will fully investigate and address any reports of misconduct and suspicious behavior made to the district.
So fired because you try to bring awareness at the school. It's a crazy situation, but remember, this has all happened a year ago. So let's go over into what happened most recently and how she was, all these charges were dismissed for the teacher.
Only on two, a former Klein ISD teacher who made headlines for being an alleged ringleader of a prostitution operation involving children will not be seeing a criminal courtroom anytime soon after a sudden development. 2 Investigates Mario Diaz is live at the courthouse after speaking exclusively with the former teacher this afternoon. Mario.
Yeah, for Keith, for Ms. Grisby here, it's been a very long haul. She told me today about what it was like for her back in April of 2024. Remember, she was arrested inside of her classroom, spent 23 days inside of the county jail. Then, obviously, prosecutors and investigators say that she and her son were up to no good, involved into a prostitutional enterprise involving kids. But then all of a sudden, over the weekend, her case was dismissed.
I was relieved, but yet I still have a lot of questions with the way that this was handled.
The case made headlines in April 2024 as a former cosmetology teacher was arrested at Klein Kane High School. She and her son were both indicted. He pleaded guilty in March of last year. Prosecutors said they had witnesses to the criminal activity, a connected Zelle account, specific hotels tied to what they described as an overall prostitution enterprise.
It never happened. I ran a beauty salon. Okay, that was my other job besides me being a teacher. I had my own business.
And that Zelle account was connected to the business.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming the victims named you as well. So how can your son plead guilty and you be like, oh, none of that happened? I might be missing something, but let's keep going.
Grigsby, after our interview, was adamant in a phone call that her son's admission of guilt is what helped her clear her name in this case. Still, there are others that have questions.
It seemed like it was very pretty much an open and shut case for the most part.
Harry Daniels is the attorney for the whistleblower who sounded the alarm against Grigsby. Daniels feels that this is a case that should have gone to trial.
You know, it was shocking that this amount of evidence that the Harris County District Attorney Office had in order to secure an indictment from a grand jury, now finding this insufficient evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Questions from the whistleblower as well as Ms. Grigsby. She plans on coming down here. You're looking live at the courthouse tomorrow. She wants more questions. She wants answers to some of her questions, questions that she was relaying to us as well. I also asked her at one point, do you have any desires to get back into teaching? Perhaps even go back to client now that you've been cleared? She says, I will not do that whatsoever. Again, she says that the last 2 years, extremely difficult for herself as well as her family.
Now, let's go over into the AI breakdown so we can see if they tell us anything else. But it's hard for me to believe just because the son claimed that he filed guilty or gave a guilty claim. But let's get over into this AI breakdown to see if they tell us anything else. So as of today, the criminal charges have been dismissed on the former cosmetology teacher at Klein Kane High School. She was originally charged in April 2024 with 3 counts of trafficking of children, 3 counts of compelling prostitution. She was accused of recruiting students to work in a sex trafficking ring operated by her adult son. The Harris County District Attorney Office filed a motion to dismiss because they could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she had actual knowledge of her son's trafficking activities or participated in them. The dismissal is not a declaration of innocence. Prosecution stated that the charges could be refiled if new evidence emerges. Her son pleaded guilty to trafficking a child and was sentenced to 20 years in prison in March of 2025. While the criminal case against her was dismissed, related legal action are continuing. So we got a federal lawsuit by a whistleblower. That's the one we talked about. We got retaliation claims. So a former special education teacher at Klein claimed that she was forced to resign after reporting concerns about her. And then you got a judge denied Klein's ISD's request to dismiss the Title V or Title IV lawsuit as of January 2026, the case is on hold pending an appeal by the school officials. What evidence do they? I mean, I'm assuming because it's the students she was working with, her son was targeting. So how else could they get, unless they met somewhere else? I want to know, did any of the victims give her name specifically? That's the whole. That wouldn't make the stopping the gun, or what is it? The last bullet in the gun. I don't know how to say the right acronym. I might have said that wrong too. But okay, so prosecutors determined that there was insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she actually had knowledge. The decision to dismiss the charges centered on the inability to establish a direct criminal link despite several pieces of circumstantial evidence. So you got the financial transactions like the Zelle, text messages revealed that the teacher knew her son was making large sums of money despite not having a job, but prosecutors could not definitively prove that she knew the source of the money. Evidence suggests that she was providing hotel rooms and transportation for students who were reportedly runaways. While the state initially alleged that this was for recruitment, the defense argued that these actions did not prove that she knew they were being compelled into prostitution by her son. That's I mean, I can see how they can say that, but so you mean to tell me the same people that you were providing hotel rooms for were being propelled into prostitution? That seems like that's, I mean, I guess. Although a former teacher claimed that she alerted the district about the alleged involvement as early as 2023, the Harris County Sheriff's Office reportedly told school officials at the time the teacher was not a suspect, which complicated the prosecution's ability to prove her criminal intent. It's a crazy situation, no matter how you look at it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, y'all. Do you think it's just a wild coincidence that she was providing hotel rooms and getting all this money or into her Zelle account for a business, but it was all centered around the son using those same women as prostitutes and using the Zelle account? It's a crazy situation. Hopefully, but I guess you can't prove it with a reasonable doubt, and that's why they didn't take it to court. But overall, it's a crazy situation. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation out here. End of the day, look after your kids, because other people won't. It's a crazy situation, y'all.